Alright, so back with another 2,000 point battle report. We got the Scouring and Hammer and Anvil this time. Chaos Space Marines versus IG and Space Wolves. Just a blast of Space Wolves. Down here we have 2 Vindicators and a Mauler Fiend. There are 4 10-man squads of Chaos Marines, 1 on the far side, 2 in the front, and 1 back here in this Rhino. And they all have, no I lied, 2 have plasma guns and 2 have melta guns. We have a melta gun there, a plasma gun there, plasma on the far side, and another melta back here. Demon Prince all tricked out, the Demon Weapon Axe of Corn, and what, three Helldrakes with Flamers in reserve. So it's going to be a very flyer heavy list. And over here I'm running a Leman Russ wall. I have a squadron of Exterminators, all with heavy bolters, so just lots of shots down range. A squadron of standard Leman Russ. Back there I have a Death Strike Missile, a Bastion with Las Cannon. On top are Veterans with a Las Cannon. I have a Rune Priest on foot back there. He has the 2-up armor save. He's going to be throwing down prescience on things. 5 Grey Hunters and a Rhino with a Melta gun. And in reserve I have 2 Vendettas with Melta veteran squads inside. They have Carapace armor. And I have a Primaris Psyker. So we're going to see if Chaos can seize the initiative. So here we go. Come on, Bill. Roll that dice. Nope, it's a 5.
So
Close, but no cigar. So IG will be back with turn 1, and we'll flip over the objectives and see if they are. We're back with the end of IG turn 1, and the objectives have been flipped over. I just advanced all my Leman Russ, and advanced the Rhino, did not immobilize itself. As far as the objectives go, we got a 1-point objective here, a 2-point down there, a 4-pointer over there, and a 3-pointer here in the back. So the Chaos definitely have the advantage in objectives. The other 2 points there, and there's a 3-point behind the Bastion there. As far as turn 1 went, I shot everything into the front line here. I was able to take 2 hull points off of the left-hand Vindicator there. I was able to wreck that Rhino, just glanced it to death, or hull point to death. Actually, I had 2 pens, but did not make it explode. And took the Twin Link Bolter off that Rhino over there. And that is it for my turn, but I did get first blood on that Rhino, and that's what I was going for. So we'll be back with turn 1 for Chaos and see what happens. So the end of Space Marine, or Chaos Space Marine, turn 1, and everything's kind of just advanced. 1 Rhino is holding back on an objective. Everybody else moved forward, pretty much just popped smoke and ran. Demon Prince up there. So there's no shooting on their turn 1, but we'll be back with IG turn 2 and see what happens. Alright, the end of Imperial Guard turn 2, I got 1 of my Vendettas on, the one without my Psyker in it. Other than that, my Rune Priest failed to cast Prescience, and I fired in with a whole bunch of stuff. Killed the Predator in the back, only had 1 hull point left from last turn, so I just glanced it to death with all my autocannons on these Leman Russ here. And then the other Leman Russ fired in and killed the Mauler Fiend on a lucky pen with a 6 to explode it.
2 lucky pens.
2 lucky pens, but only one of them rolled a 6 to explode it. And then between it took the Vendetta and the Las Cannons from the Bastion to take the 2 hull points off of that Rhino, but it did wreck and they bailed out there. So that was all of my fire. My Rhino to kind of just move back defending my building. And I'll be back with Chaos turn 2 and see if they get their 3 Helldrakes on. Alright, so back at the end of Chaos turn 2, they got 2 of their Helldrakes on, 1 are still off the table. The Demon Prince flew way upfield and the Vindicator moved up. Vindicator fired into the Leman Russes, but didn't manage to penetrate them. Obviously he's flying, so he's just waiting until next turn to try and assault somebody. They fired in, the only thing was in range. I put that Rhino just a hair too close, hit it, and I actually exploded the Rhino. It took the second one did it, so the other one wasn't able to flame guys inside. But killed 1 guy in the explosion. They did not pin. Everybody else just moved up and ran, and they're kind of just holding objectives in the backfield. It's going to be really hard for me to get back there and take those objectives if this Demon Prince kills all my Leman Russ. So we'll be back with IG turn 3 and see what I can do. Alright, so the end of Imperial Guard turn 3, and it's actually looking pretty good for the Chaos at this point. It was a pretty bad turn for me. As you can see, he is still there. And that 1 is only 1 wound, not 1 wound remaining. I fired in with a whole bunch of stuff trying to ground him, so these Leman Russ just light him up, but he survived. He took 8 wounds from all my shots from all these Leman Russ here, and only failed 1 save, failed his grounding check, but then didn't take a wound from that, but by then had already shot everything. That was the last thing to fire at him. So there's nothing else to hit him, so he's only taken 1 wound. He's going to assault and probably blow all those up and be terrible. Unless he rolls a 1 with his demon weapon, maybe, that'd be great. Over here, I was too close to these guys to shoot them with my Vendetta, and I didn't want to park in front of them so they could Vector Strike me. So I flew back and blew up that back Rhino. And then my standard Leman Russ fired in and killed a couple of these Marines here, but they passed their leadership, and the Death Strike failed to go off, and my other Vendetta did not come on. So we'll be back with Chaos Space Marine turn 3 and see how much damage they can do. Alright, so this turn for Chaos went exactly like I thought it would. The Demon Prince ran up and about single-handedly took out almost 600 points of an army, killed all 3 of those Leman Russ in that squadron. That was terrible. That's why I hate Leman Russ squadrons, but they were a lot of fun to shoot until that happened. Heldricks flew in, both of them shot up top and erased that veteran squad, and then in the back, everything shot my Vendetta, but nothing even hit it. It just survived flying around back there. So I'll be back with my turn 4, and my Vendetta automatically comes on. When it goes downhill for the IG, it goes downhill fast. My other Vendetta came on, I flew in and shot the Demon Prince, got 2 hits, and then rolled Snake Eyes to wound. The Leman Russ fired in, and both of them hit, and then one of them rolled a 1 to wound. So in all of that, I did 1 wound to the Demon Prince. He's still there, so he's going to wreck 2 more Leman Russ. The Death Strike still failed to go off, and my other Vendetta flew into the corner over here to get out of the middle of all those guys shooting. So we'll be back, and there'll be another Heldrick coming on, see if these 2 fly off the table, and yeah, Chaos turn 4. Alright, so turn 4 for Chaos went about as good for me as it possibly could, considering all things. The Jet Dragon came on, aka the last Heldrick, and Vector Strike, my Vendetta, did 1 hull point to it, and then the squad behind it shot in, only hit with a couple bolters, but managed to do a 2nd hull point, so down to 1. Over on the far side, the Vindicator fired in. I kind of created this stupid little cluster here with my Rune Priest. Landed directly on the edge of the Death Strike, failed to penetrate the Death Strike, wounded the Rune Priest, but made my cover save, and then actually got a hit on the Bastion, but then only blew off one of the heavy bolters. These 2 guys Vector struck my Leman Russes and did a hull point to one of them, and then he charged in, his demon weapon punched him in the face, so he took a wound, and then he only managed to do 2 hull points, so just wrecked the one Leman Russ that's already damaged. So that other one's actually untouched. And that's it. So the Demon Prince down to 1 wound, and I might have a fighting chance maybe on turn 5. We'll see what happens. So back with IG turn 5. Alright, so it was an epic failure of a turn for the guard. My Vendetta came in, shot into the Jet Dragon, only hit once all of his las cannons, and then did nothing, didn't even penetrate the armor. This guy went to hover mode, dropped off all the guards with all their melta guns, las cannons, all fired in there, killed a solid 1 Marine. It was terrible. I was just hoping for a leadership check, make him run or something. But no, it was atrocious. The one highlight of the turn is the Death Strike went off and landed right there. You can see there's no more Marines there. There's a little squad that fell back and broke. So that was the one highlight of the turn. Over here, fired the Leman Russ into the Demon Prince, landed direct center of the battle cannon, and rolled a 1 to wound. So that's an epic failure. He has 1 wound left. The Rune Priest rolled Snake Eyes to cast Psychic Power, so took a wound, but did twin link the Death Strike. That's why it landed in the center of that mass over there. And that was it. So I did nothing on my turn 5. I currently hold no objectives because it has to go turn 6 for me to try and do anything anyway, but it's pretty much Chaos' game at this point. So we're back with Chaos turn 5. Alright, so turn 5 for Chaos. They were able to kill my Vendetta down here with, I went into hover mode, so this squad here, the Melta gun shot in, did one Melta hit. I failed my Jinx save and they blew it up. This Heldrick turned around, went into hover mode, and flamed my squad of guardsmen. There's only 3 alive. They broke and ran. That Heldrick Vector struck this Vendetta and took off a las cannon. And in the backfield, the Demon Prince assaulted and killed my last Leman Russ. So he's killed 820 points of Leman Russ now. And the Vindicator fired in for the 2nd turn in a row onto the Death Strike missile. 2 turns in a row, hit it, and then rolled Snake Eyes for armor penetration. So the Death Strike remains unharmed. And that was it for Chaos turn 5. We'll roll to see if the game ends on a 1 or 2. It's a 2, it is over. So it'll definitely be a Chaos victory. They have a 2 point there, a 4 point on the far side. They have a 3 point back there, so that's going to be
the 1 point there.
Oh, and this guy's climbing objective too because he's a Heldrick. As we'll get the 1 point there. So they have 8, 9, 10. They have 10 points, plus they have Line Breaker for 11, and they killed a fast attack for 12. And I have First Blood. And that is it. Let me see. Yep. First Blood. So definitely a Chaos victory, 12 to 1. Thanks for watching.